Alright, party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, an RPG podcast built for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week I am joined by Taylor LaBresh of Riverhouse Games to play his game, Goalposts and Gridirons. True to its name, Goalposts and Gridirons is a super fun powered by the Apocalypse hack designed to emulate big game football, as viewed through sort of a cultural storytelling lens. It's so good, and I had such a good time playing it, and I can't wait for you to hear it. In addition to designing some really fun and fascinating tabletop games, Taylor also hosts two podcasts, The Leviathan Files, a weekly D20 Mass Effect actual play, and the Riverhouse Games podcast, a collection of rotating discussion shows, which range from critical theory to actual play to LGBT plus issues in gaming. You should absolutely check it out because it's a fantastic collection of shows. Now, speaking of this show, in honor of our football theme, I am excited to debut the first ever, and maybe only ever, Party of One Podcast Bowl halftime volleys. Stay tuned for that. And with all that out of the way, let me throw it over to me in the past so he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Hey, my guest this week is Taylor LaBresh. Taylor, how are you, buddy?
I am doing fantastic. We talked a little bit about the pre-show, but it's Minnesota spring, which means that it's already too warm, and I am sweating like it's my job.
Oh, actually, today was the first day I didn't have to wear a jacket in a while, and I was really excited about that. Philly's been going from like 65 to 25 and just back and forth, and you can't quite get a handle on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, let's talk up front about stuff you've got going on. I know you've got some big podcast stuff going on at the moment that I want to talk about.
Yep. Couple months ago, we launched our big, huge 2016 initiative. In 2015, my goal was, okay, I'm going to do a podcast, and I'm going to make it good, and we're going to do it. And from there, I don't know, because I had never really done anything like, published or creative before. So we started the Leviathan Files, which is a weekly D20 Mass Effect actual play podcast. When we first started, I was not able to say it once, but now I can say it 5 times fast because we've done more than a year so far, and that's been something really impressive. 2016, I was like, okay, well, we've made this podcast. What are we going to do next? Let's write games, I guess. So I started riverhousegames.com. I'm writing at least one game a month. The games range from 3 pages to I think our longest is like 15. They're small little rules-like games. And we also started a second podcast, which is the Riverhouse Games podcast, which is a kind of a way to promote that. So we've got 3 different, like, quote-unquote shows on that one show. There's From Scratch, which we actually just published an episode today, like half an hour ago, with Megan Dornbrock of the Modifier podcast, talking about learning new games. She's been learning a whole bunch as part of Epidiah Ravical's 36 and 16 challenge. So it was cool to talk to her about learning so many new games so quickly.
Speaking of that podcast, how dare you?
What are you talking about?
How dare you publish a thing where you say nice things about me 2 minutes before I have to go on the air? How dare you?
Oh man, you got to listen to the end because it's great. So we're talking about 2-player games because we played a 2-player game. We played Carolyn Hobbs, One Missed Call, and then
which is a game I want to play on the show.
Good.
I got really excited about that.
Oh man, it's a really, really powerful game. But so we played that, and then we were wrapping up, and she was like, "Oh man, I've just been so interested in these 2-player games." And I was like, "Look, if you have it already, you should check out." And she cut me off, and she goes, "Party of One." So we had a great little moment where we were like, "Yes, this is a good show." And I've been listening since like episode 3 or 4. I'm so psyched to get on, Jeff.
I'm really excited to have you on. I'm really excited, especially because the game that we're playing I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off before you talk about the other shows on the network. Got it. I don't want to segue too early.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and we'll talk more about the other stuff later. But first, the game that we're playing this week is one that you designed for the month of March.
Yep.
It is a 2-player RPG, and as soon as I saw that, I invited you on the show, because anytime you design a 2-player RPG, I am on it.
I cannot promise that wasn't one of the intentions of making it a 2-player game.
Oh, bless your heart, my friend. Bless your heart. So we are playing Goalposts and Gridirons.
Yep.
So why don't you talk a little bit about what Goalposts and Gridirons is and where it came from? Because it has kind of a fun origin story.
It does. So I grew up a nerdy little kid in Minnesota. My dad was a nerdy little kid from California, and neither of us really knew anything about sports. And one of the weird things about masculinity in America is that you kind of have to like know about sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really have any experience with that. I was over at my girlfriend's house for the Super Bowl, and her dad was like, "All right, we're gonna do sports time," and I was like, "Cool, it's happening." One of the things that I do know a lot about is role playing games, and there is a guy who is super cool on Twitter. His name is Brandon Leon Gambetta. He is at Dr. Captain Kobold on Twitter, and he was doing this cool
friend
thing.
of the show.
Friend of the show. He is super cool. I can't wait for his podcast to go live.
I've been waiting with bated breath. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so he was doing this cool thing where he was doing gaming for, or was it gaming for geeks or like football for geeks?
I think it was football for geeks. I think it was football for geeks.
Everything that was happening during the game, he was talking about it within like the lens or the rules of tabletop gaming. So, I mean, obviously there was like the stereotypical like, oh, he dropped the ball, he rolled a 1, but then he was also talking about like flanking. He was, using really like in-depth strategy stuff, like weird rules, talking about it, and I got wrapped up in that because I was like, okay, this is something that I can understand. It's not just like, it's the commercials and then 10 minutes of stuff that I don't want to watch, which is how I spent pretty much every other Super Bowl. And I got really into it, and I was like, okay, I guess I like football now. And I was tweeting at him, and he was like, does this mean that you're going to be writing a game? And I go, I guess, yep, that's, you got it, friend. And then Goalposts and Gridirons happened.
It's great. And yeah, I've read it over. I really like it. It's a really well done. I like that it's, and we'll see it when we play the game and coming up in a few minutes. Get excited, listeners. We're going to actually play a game on this actual play podcast. The thing I like about it is that it ties in both the actual stuff on the field, but also like the storylines around it. Because I don't know if I've ever made this clear, I'm a big fan of the sport of professional wrestling, a sport which is half things happening in the ring and half of the fun is the stuff happening around the storylines and the narratives going into it. So I am a football fan for 2 weeks out of the year. I watched the Super Bowl, and because I went to Ohio State for college, I watched the Ohio State-Michigan game because my mother's from Michigan, and we trash talk each other for a whole afternoon. Oh. So those are the 2 football games I get into. But like, I watch those, and I'm always the one joke I always go back to is like, what are the storylines going into this? Who are the crooked refs? All that stuff, because I like following the outside storylines and like being able to be like, oh man, that's the guy that everybody hates. What's he gonna do here? So I like that the game integrates a lot of that stuff as well.
Yeah, and one of the things for my goal for writing a game a month is not just, a game. It's a game about how we look at stories and how we look at games. So January, I wrote a game about making your own Harry Potter fan fiction. February, I wrote a game that acknowledges and celebrates the fact that genre fiction is basically just a collection of cliches that we can arrange in different orders. So March was, okay, we have this spectacle that is professional athleticism, but how do we approach it from a cultural level of telling stories? How do we, create this narrative out of 2 teams, just competing?
Every time I watch any kind of sporting event, that's the thing that gets me like swept up, is following the stories. And because I can watch sports. I like sports. But the thing that I really like is watching sports movies and documentaries when they're just like going into the wild things that happen. Like, random recommendation. This is going to be the last thing before we dive into the play. In case I say that 8 more times, you have the free right to call me on that. There's a great documentary that we watched not long ago. It was called I think it was documentary, DOCK, and I think it was called No No. I'm going to look this up real quick. Yes, No, a documentary, DOCK. It was about a pitcher who his famous achievement was he threw a no-hitter while high on LSD.
Was this Doc Ellis?
Yes.
Oh, I love this story. Okay, yes, sorry. I'm quiet.
No, please. I'm glad that you know the story. Yeah, it's a documentary on the life of Doc Ellis and how outspoken he was and how much trouble he got into and how famously into drugs he was. And it's just this amazing... It's a very classic like Talking Heads documentary that is just all about like, yeah, he got into some crazy shit, and it's so good. And that's what I get into sports for, is to follow like the crazy shit that happened. That's my sports love.
I like it. And, I would never have guessed that you were pumped about professional wrestling.
Really?
This is a surprise to me.
I feel like I've mentioned it once or twice on the show. I don't know. I feel like maybe once or twice.
I might have to go back and listen.
All right. So let's dive in to the game. Let's start by filling out our characters. So you've got a collection of teams in the rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you pick first. So I'm going to read through the teams, and I'll let you pick the team that you want to play first. You can play the Big City Bruisers from a rich metropolis, a team of hard hitters that don't waste time beating around the bush. You can play the Pretty Boys, they're attractive fan favorites who could spend a little less time at photo shoots and a little more in spring training. The Rivals, they're your rivals, my rivals, everyone's rivals. Or the Small Town Strategists, they want the one-horse town that's just pushing through because of the genius of their coaches and players. Or, as I'm putting it on the table, because I can't not, is to play the Visitors, who are the aliens from outer space who want to take over the Earth, provided they can beat us at football.
The Visitors I love because it was something that I was having fun with, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put this in as like an optional rule. But then as I finished the game, I was like, we can't have a game without the Visitors. So unless you want them, I'm going to take the Visitors because one of us has to.
If you play the Visitors, I think that I want to play the Rivals. Because I think there's a great narrative there of the team that everyone hates having to go up again, being the Earth's last hope.
Yeah.
I think that's a great narrative, so I think that's what I'm going with.
Perfect.
So once we've got our team selected, we fill out our stats, correct?
That's correct. So, you took the Rivals, so, it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, so you have 4 stats. 2 of your stats you get a +1 to, 2 of your stats you get a -1 to, and I believe that you get a floating point to put wherever.
Yes. And our 4 stats are Jock, which is how athletic you are, Strat, which is how good you are at like playbook stuff, planning and strategizing, Photogenic, which is how good you are at getting sponsors and getting like mass appeal, and then Ego, which is how much you believe in yourself and how great you think you are, which can sometimes make or break your play on the field.
I was going to say, I've already got mine. I put my free point into Jock. The Visitors get a +1 for Jock and Strat, so my Jock is 2. Okay. My Photogenic and my Ego are both -1s.
Okay, I've got +1 to Jock and Photogenic, -1 to Ego and Strat. Now, I think I am going to get rid of that -1 for Strat. I think the only thing that's going to get in the Rivals' way is the Rivals. That's what I'm going with. Which I'm going to make them the Palookaville Pythons. I think that up to this point in the season, it's just been like a surly assortment of dudes, and this is like the big moment when they have to pull through. Okay, so we each get a certain number of moves as well.
Yep.
The Pythons get to play dirty. I get to add dirty moves to when I scrimmage or make a brilliant play. I get to inflict stress upon you because I play dirty. Everybody does love the bad guys, which whenever I cause stress, I can potentially gain crowd favor. My checkered past allows me to create scandal on my own players and ignore the stat penalty. When I create scandal or rough a player, I can trash talk to choose freely from the options on either list. And you turn over possession on a 7 or minus instead of a 6 or minus.
Ooh, that's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Now, how many moves is that?
4.
Okay.
5.
So
5.
You only start with 2 moves.
Oh, I only get 2 moves. Got it.
Yep, you get to start with 2. Anytime that you advance on, I believe, any odd number of your advancements, you can choose a new team, or a new move.
Gotcha. I see.
Yep. So on rank 1 and 3, you'll get a new move from your list, and then if we get there, rank 5, 7, 9, whatever, you'll pick a move from a different team.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to say the Pythons play dirty, which allows them to cause 1 stress on a scrimmage or brilliant play, and I'm going to rough the passer, so you turn it over on a 7, right? So I get those 2 moves, right?
Yep.
Just making sure. Yeah, those are my 2.
And then,
because if we're going to win this, we're going to win it by playing dirty.
I'm going to counter your playing dirty and take Out of This World, my body does not abide by human standards, and my stress track goes up to 6 instead of just a 5.
Okay.
And then my second move, which I have to take, just as I had to take the visitors, I have to take the second move, which is voiced by. So one of the basic moves is gaining a sponsor. So you have named characters, just as, if you have a football team, you'll have your star players. Gaining a sponsor is like an endorsement deal that you can put onto one of your characters. And it gives you different cool things, and you can use the moves. The visitors have a move that replaces gain a sponsor called voiced by. So I get to choose voice actors for all of my star players and get bonuses based off of roles and who I choose.
All right, I like it. Okay, so now we've picked our moves. What's the next step?
The next step is going to be establishing those named characters.
Gotcha.
So this is the point in the game where you get the flashy music and the talking heads pop up, and they're like, "Let's get our character names here." I've already started getting a little bit of them here, just because I play the visitors. I get to draw upon making references to all of my favorite science fiction.
Sure. So, okay. I think that I got some good ideas for character names. One-eyed Jim Crowbar.
Oh.
A guy named Rock, who always wears a helmet, so we don't know if it's The Rock, but it might be.
Ooh.
I think Lance Arrow, and I think the story with Lance Arrow is he was a star player who had a falling out, and this is sort of his comeback. He's been kind of leading the team in our motivational speeds thing. He's the one that steps up and he's like, everybody hates us, so maybe that's how we win this game, is by being the people that people hate. Which is sort of a terrible sports movie like message, is just lean into your worst traits, but I like it.
I like it too.
I'm gonna go with Fatty McGraw. Yeah.
And then we also have a kind of a one named character that acts a little bit differently than your athletes. So you get 4 athletes, and then you also have a fan.
Yes.
Have you decided who your fan is going to be?
I think my fan is Rudy Thomas.
Okay.
And he roots for us. He believes in us, and that's really what's gotten us this far. That's what's kept us together as a team.
He's the one person that's rooting for you. Everyone else is like, take him down.
He's the one fan that's held out hope, and we're doing this for him.
Oh, all right. So my named characters are going to be, the first one, starting lineup, is Garma Narnar. We also have an actual minion, like those little yellow buddies.
Oh, I'm going to wreck that minion. I'm just giving you a heads up right now. That minion is not making off of this field alive.
We have the Scholastic Armor Fiend, who's just this big, beefy dude who punches everyone.
All right.
We have Morn from Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And our fan is Michael Jordan.
Michael, why?
We stole him from the previous world that we took over.
I'm just letting you know. Okay, then I got 2 promises for this game. This is my pre-match. This is my pre-game promo. I got 2 promises. We're going to murder that minion, and we're going to have a crying Jordan on the field by the end of this game. I give you my word. All right, so we've got our named players lined up. So I believe we're ready to play, right? Is there anything else we need to put together?
Nope. It's stats, moves, and characters.
All right, then we are ready to play. So I figured we'll go for an hour.
Yep.
I figure 15-minute quarters, halftime at half hour.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So we'll start by flipping a coin. I don't have a coin on me, so I'm just going to roll a dice. You want high or low?
I'll go with high.
High. All right. Rolled a 2. All right. We got the ball.
There we go.
Okay. So does the ball start in a specific place?
It starts at half field.
Starts at half field. Okay. So we've got the ball lined up on the half field marker. So I'm going to make my first move. Let's go over the moves real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Your basic moves. Where are we at? The basic moves, I can assess the field. I can assess the field. I can try to make a brilliant play. I can try to showcase some of the community outreach that we've been doing. I don't know how much community outreach these awful people did, but alright. Can make a scandal, or explore the fans, or gain a sponsor, or rough a player, or scrimmage. I think I'm going to assess the field. I think we need to set things up. In the early goings. So I'm going to roll plus strats. So I'm rolling it at +0.
Yep. I'll actually have you read the flavor text as if you were making an announcer.
Sure. Well, I don't know what they played did them a lot of good in the short term, but just look at the field. They've really set themselves up for success here. A lot of good options in play. Let's see what they do next.
So the way that Goalposts and Gridirons is set up is that there's flavor text for each of the basic moves. Anytime that you make a basic move, you'll read that flavor text and then you'll roll. So you're always starting with something that has a little bit of basis in like tropes of sporting events. But then your roll is going to influence how that ends up.
So this is a good way to start. I rolled a 2. So I'm going to turn over possession, and my opponent carries over 1 forward, but the crowd is really getting fired up. So I'm going to mark 1 crowd favor.
They saw what you were doing, but you just couldn't carry it off. And those visitors, Garmadon are slammed into you.
I think got that. Yeah, I think that we really thought that we were going to play by human rules, and I don't think that's going to play out here.
Yep. So we're going to try to rough a player. We're going to start out real good in typical Alien sports fashion.
All right.
So you hear a loud crunch, and the crowd just goes, ooh, and the announcer says, boy, that was a cheap move, slamming their receiver like that. You could hear the impact from the parking lot, I bet. They'll be playing that over and over on the highlight reels for sure. And I'm going to choose one of your named athletes, which I'm going to go straight for One-Eyed Jim Crowbar. And I got an 8.
Okay.
I cause 1 stress.
Okay.
Jim Crowbar kneels in support momentarily, but soon enough he's back in the game as he gets picked up by his teammates and they're ready for the next play.
Okay. Now, let's go over real quick how stress works. I get 5 at 5 stress, I have to take out a player, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure that was the case. Yeah, okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 1 out of 5 stress. Jim Crowbar he gets hit hard, and the crowd is shocked as the rivals realize they're not just playing with people, they're playing with aliens, and they're going to have to respond in kind. So go ahead and make your next move as I move the ball forward 8 yards.
Yep. And then because I didn't turn over possession, but I didn't get a first down, we're going to mark it as second down.
Yep.
You can't repeat moves, so I'm just going to make a scrimmage. I'm going
to
get that ball moving. So 2 teams lined up on the line of scrimmage, looking into each other's hardened and determined gaze. The players prepare to surge into another with shocking force. Out of this clash, a play is made, and yards are heroically won or tragically lost. And in this case, tragically lost, because I got a 6.
All right. So we've turned over possession? Yes.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. I think... Now, can I repeat the same move as you, or do I have to pick a different move? Not that it matters, because I'm playing dirty, but I just needed to know.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, well, I think we're going to respond exactly in kind. I think that no ill deed goes unpunished, so I think we're going to try to rough a player up. So I'm going to roll +1. And I think you know exactly who I'm going for.
Is it the actual minion?
It would be, but I rolled a 3. The little bastard snuck right out from under me. Switching out these dice. These are not helping me out here.
My minion springs up and he makes one of those little...
Well, monsters.
You get a crowd favor, though.
I do get a crowd favor. So that's 2 crowd favor for the rivals. We're winning people over. They're watching our determination. They're realizing that maybe we weren't so bad all along.
Well, either that or they're like, yes, just cream that minion.
Yeah, it could be either one. Could be either one. Maybe a little bit of both. All right, so you've got the ball.
I do. I'm going to do something a little bit risky.
All right, what do you got?
I am going to explore the fan.
Okay.
So, football's not just about the athletes, no sir. It's also about the fans, watching their team struggle to get to the big game. It's about tailgating, fantasy leagues, and the weekly coming together to enjoy this common interest. The fans are real people with real lives. And this fan, Michael Jordan, has been living with the visitors for years and years, decades, since Space Jam was released.
Not long after he saved the world from the Monstars, he got picked up by the Seems like he had a bad run of luck in the late 90s, and I'm not just talking about his baseball career.
Well, if he's not good at baseball, you got to go to the next sport, and that next sport
run him down football. The line.
So, we are going to roll with ego, which I get a -1 for.
All right.
But there's some pretty meaty bonuses that I could take advantage of here. If I did not get a 6.
All right, so you get to mark crowd favor, but I've got the ball back, and I think that we're gonna try to create a scandal. So I'm gonna roll +1, because like I said, if we gotta cheat, we're gonna cheat every way we can. So if we gotta release some dirt on these visitors, I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. I got a 7, so I can advance and apply any other condition to my opponent. So I created the scandal. What are my conditions?
Condition is, there's not like a list, it's just anything that you can throw out. If you can take advantage of a condition, you can either add 1 to any roll that you make against that character. So if you're roughing a player, if you rough the player that you created this scandal for, you could add a bonus.
Okay.
You can also subtract subtract 1 from any roll I would make against you.
Okay.
Or you can add an extra stress when you use a move that causes stress.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna throw out that condition. I'm gonna say that we have demonstrated pure evidence of illegal gene tampering in the minion. So I'm gonna hold on to this condition. Just showcasing that they've used performance altering materials. I mean, come on now.
There's no way that the minion can get that swole.
Yeah, right. This is I don't like it. All right. So I've moved the ball. I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at the 49-yard line, and I'm going to make that scrimmage. Well, let me look real. Yeah, scrimmage, jock, brilliant play, strats. They're both. Well, yeah, I'm going to make that scrimmage. Now that we've got the fans, and the visitors distracted by this scandal, I'm going to just try to run it. Just try to run the line. I got a 9.
Ooh.
So advance the field, but do not gain a first down. Choose 1. I'm gonna say this is a hard-fought play. Because the visitors have been really bringing it to us so far. So I think this is a hard-fought play, and I'm gonna get that 3rd point of crowd favor. As well as move the ball another 9 yards.
Nice, smart choice.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. We're making some progress. We are now at the 42-yard line on our side. Or your side. Making real progress here. And I think the only way to follow that up is with a real brilliant play. I think some real outside the box thinking, maybe things that the other players would frown upon. So let me read over this flavor text. Well, I've never seen anything like that. It just goes to show you that brute force can only get you so far. You've got to really know the sport, and by golly, she knows that sport. That play was a work of absolute genius. They'll be teaching it in schools within a year, I bet. So I got an 8. Making real progress here.
You're moving up that field.
We're playing to win. This is real. This is real life. 6.5 minutes left in the quarter, and we've made 8 yards. We're gonna carry 1 forward. We're gonna carry 1 forward as they got an open field ahead of us.
It is 3rd down, though.
It is 3rd down, so I gotta get that 10. So I've got to make another scrimmage because I got to use my jock because it's the best thing I got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me think. Let me look. Yeah, I think we gotta go. Maybe we'll create another scandal. Use photogenic.
I was going to say, if Jock is your highest, if you use rough a player and take advantage of that swole minion's condition, you could get an extra point on that in addition to your carry 1 forward by if you say that you could slam him get him tricked out with roid rage or something.
Yeah, okay. Then I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get him so mad that one of them little cartoon veins pops up, and then we can get it to burst and really damage this minion. Cause some long-term damage. So I got a +2 now. +3 with the jock. So I got a 3. I just got to get a 7 or better. I got a 9!
Hey, there we go!
Alright, got a first down. So that is 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I got 12 yards on that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're at the 30-yard line. With 4 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, we're at the 30-yard line, and it's 1st down. I think we're just going to have to just pure scrimmage this.
Well, did you get to choose? Because I took my stress, and you get to choose one of the following. Yeah.
I believe I get to add. That's when I get to play dirty on that one. No, that's for scrimmage or brilliant play. So I am going to. What I'm going to add to this one is probably just hurting this minion. I'm going to be real with you. whichever thing is going to most hurt this minion is the thing I'm going to pick.
Ooh, you could bench him.
I'm going to bench that minion. That minion's out of there. The big vein that pops up bursts, and he's just down. His eye turns into a little X, and they have to carry him off, and like 2 other minions show up to carry him off, and I'm like, where did they get all those minions from?
Well, they're attracted to the most evil, despicable person.
They are. So I guess that's you guys. That's the visitors.
That's the visitors.
Yeah. So that minion goes down.
So I cannot use that minion for voice acting or community outreach until I do something in the fiction to revitalize him.
Which could just be putting another minion on the field. They don't really. You didn't give him a defined identity, so you could just be like, oh, there's another minion.
But this was the Swole minion, Jeff.
It was. This was Swole minion. Ugh. Yeah, nightmare fuel. Yeah. All right. So I can't rough another player. So I think we're just gonna have to scrimmage this. 2 teams lined up, looking at each other's hardened and determined gazes. A clash of a play is made, and we're either gonna win or lose on this. So I'm adding 1. I got a 4. You take the ball.
At what is it? The 26-yard line?
Yeah. No, you're at the 30-yard line.
Well, no, you still get those yards.
Oh yeah. You're on 26. You're on the 26. Yeah.
So you didn't roll snake eyes though.
You're on the 26-yard line with just over 2.5 minutes in the quarter.
All right. So the visitors. I think it's time to get a voice actor, but we're gonna do something funny. I don't know if you've watched Deep Space Nine, Jeff.
A little bit.
Morn is the character who sits in the bar. He's gray. He has those little wiry hairs. In the entirety of the show, all 7 seasons, he does not have 1 line.
All right, so now he's got a line. This is great.
So the voice actor who plays Morn, they brought him on just to sit there and get the noise of the breathing. He still doesn't have any lines. So my impersonation of this voice actor, who I'm going to say is Chris Pratt, because who else would you choose to cast as a football-playing alien who doesn't really get lines, but just is there to breathe?
Sure.
So I'm going to roll with photogenic then.
Okay.
Which isn't the greatest choice for me, but we're going to do it. Oh, no. Nope. The fans did not like it.
What'd you get?
They were like, you got Chris Pratt, dude is stacked as hell, and he's funny, and you're just using him for breathing? And I get 4 yards, but it's a turnover.
So it's back to the 30-yard line. I think we can take this home, especially if we just keep roughing up them players. We're being true to ourselves, which I think is the moral of this sports movie. even if ourselves are the worst human beings imaginable. So we are going to try to rough up another one of these. I think the fans start booing Morn, and I think we're just going to go right at him.
Oh no, poor Morn.
We got rolled snake eyes though, so it's fine. Turns out Chris Pratt really still is exactly that athletic and just dunks on all of us.
He just springs back immediately.
The entire team is just targeting him, and he's just effortlessly, pushing him aside. It's awful. All right, the ball is yours, but you only got 39 seconds on the clock.
Ooh, 39 seconds, we're going to make a brilliant play.
All right, this is the time for brilliant plays.
If I can find it. Don't do this to me. I wrote you. Yep, I got it. And that brilliant play, it's not going to be good enough. It's a 6. It's you saw it coming, you sidestepped it, and you just clotheslined my receiver.
You're on the 34-yard line. I'm throwing scrimmage. I got 10 seconds on the clock.
Oh!
I got a 4. I got a 5. So the quarter ends with the ball on the 29-yard line. Your side of the field, I believe we turn it over to you. Do you want to keep it on the 29-yard line, or do we move it?
We're going to keep it on the 20-yard line, or 29-yard line. So.
Okay, so we start the new quarter. The ball is yours, my friend.
We are going to do some community outreach. So these huge, hulking aliens, some of them have questionable stains. They could be blood, it could be dirt at this point. We're going to see a little behind the scenes as the commercial break ends, as we're talking about, we're highlighting all these characters, and we're going to show the Scholastic Armor Fiends as they are distributing sacks of potatoes around their village, and everyone's aggression gets taken out on these potatoes, and that keeps the people safe from each other. But it's really bad for those potatoes.
Earth should want to fall under the visitors, because they're really great people.
Yeah, exactly. And I got an 11. Which goes down to 10, which is still good.
30, so the 49-yard line, you've almost got it back up to midfield.
Yep. And I'm going to say that that's good for publicity.
The 39-yard line, yeah.
And I would normally make an immediate gain a sponsor move, but I'm going to do it for voice acting. Oh,
right.
No. I rolled a 3. Who's the worst person that I could possibly pick for... Let's see, I can't use Morn, so... Who's the worst possible person that I could think of to pick for Garmin Arnar? Garmin Arnar is just this floating sack of mouths and eyes.
Oh, I think it's Danny DeVito, right?
It's gotta be Danny DeVito. With his Always Sunny in Philadelphia voice, and he's...
Yeah.
Charlie! Oh,
we gotta win the game!
You gotta win! It's not a good move.
And the crowd is not angry, they're just more confused. They're like, oh, what?
I guess.
Yeah, I think he stops to talk about Danny DeVito brand limoncello just a little bit too long.
He takes a picture of his foot and tweets it.
God, I love Danny DeVito. What a wonderful man. All right, so I think that we are going to explore the fan. Nope, I don't want to do that. Fans don't like us. I think we're going to get a sponsor. I think that's what we're going to go for. We got real chops on that field. Kid, have you ever thought about how you could help increase your image off the field, though? Thinking front page photo shoots, car commercials, maybe even your own sporting goods line. The sky's the limit when you got a sponsor behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I think all of our sponsors have to be, like, bad people sponsors. So I think, who is the guy in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that wants to steal the gobstopper?
Oh, I know him.
I think that's exactly who.
We can do a quick Google search.
Yeah, I think that's who is the person that is trying to...
Arthur Slugworth.
Yeah, I think we specifically try to get Slugworth to sponsor it. I think that we only get, like, Slugworths when we're like, let's get some...
Sponsored by Slugworth Chocolate.
Slugworth Chocolate. It's great. It's not Willy Wonka, but who cares? That guy's weird. You think I think maybe he murdered some children. That's our commercial. It's just real combative.
Chocolate.
So we're rolling plus photogenics. We're rolling plus 1. Oh, I got a 12.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're on the 39-yard line, so that means we're on the 27-yard line. So that's a first down, 27-yard line. And I am going to choose... I think we're going to get rid of that stress. I think Jim Crowbar just tears through the field. I think he knocks Garmin Arnar out of the sky real quickly, and it bounces. It bounces, and Danny DeVito's like, what are you doing?
And he can only do that because of the revitalizing, if I could speak a single word in my life, he can only do that because of the revitalizing energy of Slugworth Chocolate.
Yeah. It's like, Slugworth Chocolate, baby! And he's up in the camera. Spittle is just flying. There's a handheld camera interview shot, and the camera's getting all smudged because of spittle. It's awesome. Yeah, so now that we're all fired up, I think that while Crowbar is just tearing down the field, everybody else is just hitting people. So I think we're roughing up some players.
They know that the cameras are focused on Crowbar.
Oh, that's such a good heel tactic, though. He's got the cameras Yeah, that's what's happening. All right, here we go. Yeah, but he rolled snake eyes, so it's all good.
Ooh. So we're bouncing back. You know what? I'm going to go with scrimmage because if I'm lucky, I can maybe get a surprise playoff. So we line up on the field. We've got the hike, and it's still good. It's not quite as good. You saw our move coming. We still advanced the field with a 7.
All right.
And I'm going to say that it was a hard-fought play and get that final piece of crowd favor that's going to put me to 5 and get me an advancement.
You're at the 31-yard line. You've got 9 minutes on the clock. What's your next move?
I think my next move, I'm actually going to get my advancement first here, which is intimidating violence. Whenever I rough a player, I'm going to give you the condition terrified.
All right.
And I'm going to do exactly that. We're mad that Slugworth Chocolate is having such a good effect, and so we are going to go straight up to old One Eye and not even pretend that we're making a play. We're just going to deck him in the face.
Oh no! Oh no, One Eye, look out!
Ooh, and I rolled a 5, but my jock is 2, so I can still save it with a 7.
Oh, poor guy. It's called one stress.
One stress, and he gains the condition terrified.
All right.
And we're going to use that Terrified to just make an immediate scrimmage. We're going to run off of his Intimidation and try and see if we can't get by him, which we do with a total of an 8.
Oh, goodness. So between that's 15 yards between that and the other play. So you're at the 31, so that means you're at the 46.
And my scrimmage opens the field as Crowbar kind of ducks out of the way.
Oh,
he doesn't want to get it, so I'm going to carry one forward.
Crowbar. You need to learn to stand up for yourself. Stop letting people push you around.
And as the cameras are focusing on all this violence in the field, we are going to see a little micro community outreach as Michael Jordan, a single tear rolls down his eyes as he thinks about how he'll never get to go home again if the visitors win.
What did I tell you we were going to get? Told you we were going to get a hurt minion and a crying Jordan. I think that's a win for me. And we've already got those. I think this is a win for me.
Michael Jordan has a single tear roll down his eyes, and a little small child tugs on his jersey and holds out a Michael Jordan baseball card, and he signs it real quick, and the kid smiles, and Michael Jordan says, things might not be so bad after all. Possibly. Okay,
all right.
Good. Yes, that happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
I was going to be like, wait, what if I roll a 6? Is this kid's going to, murder him or something? But yes, I rolled a 7.
Okay.
So I advance and take a crowd favor. And then I think we are going to make a brilliant play. So capitalizing on this violence. Oh, nope. We think it's all smart, and then that was Snake Eyes. It's the classic oldest trick in the book is making a bad play.
Yep. That's
what we think.
That's football for you. One bad play will turn it all around. So we got 6 minutes.
We go.
6 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
Not only that, I take a stress because my QB gets sacked.
All right. Well, now that your QB has been sacked, I think that we're definitely going to target him and rough him up a little bit. Going back to what works for us. I think Rock is going to grab him, and he's going to pick him up, and he's going to slam him down in a way that looks similar to... But we can still we can debate over whether it was a rock bottom.
I can't tell if that's his sleeve or if that's a tattoo on that guy's arm.
It could be either one. He rolled a 9, so he caused one more stress. So, which one of your players is your QB?
I'm going to say that Garmin Arnar is my QB because he's floating, so he's a little bit above the line of scrimmage.
He grabs him and he rock bottoms him. And he looks around for a second, and he points, and he starts to point to the side. He starts to signal for the people's elbow, and then he stops.
Oh!
And he's like, and then he just points forward because we're going for a scrimmage. Got to leave it open in the air. It's going to be a big reveal later. So I got a 5.
Ooh.
So that's let's see, that's 9. It's 14. So 49 minus 14 is 35. So you're on the 35-yard line.
All right. We are going to go straight for roughing a player. We didn't like how you went for our QB, so Morn is just going to charge down and try and use his strength, his alien strength, to run straight into... I've been being pretty harsh on One-Eye Jim Crowbar, so I'm going to go straight for Rock. We're going to try to get even.
Rock, no!
And Morn has an 8 on roughing that player. So I'm going to cause a stress, but you're still in play.
All right.
That's my second down, I mean. We're going to try to go... Been in my field for a pretty good time here, so we're going to try to assess the field and see if we can't get an advantage on this.
All right.
Even with my +1 from strats, the result is only a 6.
All right.
So I got to turn over.
So you are now on the 41-yard line. We're on the 41-yard line. It's still tied up 0-0. We've got 3.5 minutes on the clock in the second quarter. Really want to take this home before halftime. So I think that we're just going to have to. Let's see. I think we're gonna. Let me see when I can play dirty. I think it's specifically on scrimmage or brilliant plays. Yeah. So we're gonna make a scrimmage. And if we can beat somebody up along the way, I think that's the best way to go.
There we go.
I got a 6.
Oof,
on the
so
35-yard line. It's been a tight game. It's been a defensive game.
It has. It's been pretty great. The visitors are going to try, I think they're just going to try, they haven't gotten a score in the first quarter. It's close to the end of the second. We're just going to try to get points on a board with a scrimmage. And we got a 13 on our scrimmage roll.
43-yard line.
Wait, hold on, because it's a surprise play.
Oh no.
We're gonna just sprint it. No one expected the Scholastic Armor Fiend to run that fast with all of that body armor that he's wearing, and he is just gonna take the ball and get 26 yards.
So that's 43. That's 53. You are now on the 44-yard line. Finally, you're on our half of the field, and I don't like that. I'm coming for you.
And you know what? We're going to take advantage of this momentum to see if we can't funnel that into some violence and rough a player. So watch out, Lance Arrow. Was it Lance Arrow?
Yeah, Lance Arrow. He's the hero of the movie. You're not going to take him out.
Oh, this is the part of the movie where he's going to take a knee because I rolled 2 6s.
No, Lance Arrow.
I get +2 to rough. So we're going to bench Lance.
All right. Well, he's got a hell of a speech at halftime lined up, so get ready. So that's 12 more yards. You're on the 44, so that's 34. That's 34, 32. Oh, man, you're making serious yardage here. So this is a play.
Yeah.
All right. That's your next move.
I'm going to decide another voice actor, and we are going to say that I can't use the Minion, I can't use Garminanar, I can't use Morn. So we're going to go the Scholastic Armor Fiends.
All right.
Oh, that's another 3. The Scholastic Armor Fiends, this big, hulky, muscular dude. Gilbert Gottfried!
Who is this casting director? This casting director made some weird choices.
They tried to cast against type, but, you know.
The crowd's not appreciating it.
And the part of the trailer for this movie is where the music is swelling and swelling and swelling, and you know that there's that moment where the music just stops and there's supposed to be some sort of emotional or climactic moment, and Gilbert Gottfried is going to just yell, "Go deep!"
Alright, what do we got?
And it falls flat.
We're going to follow. We got the ball. I think as we get the ball, we go into halftime.
Ooh.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present to you the Party of One Halftime Follies. You know, there's what they're known on as
world, and I guess
I started ripping these things off of the edge of my notebook, and I realized that I'm on camera and it's going to pick that up. So I'm going to stop doing that.
Okay. Well, hey, if you're doing an edit point right now, I could stand to turn off this really loud PlayStation 3 in my background that I just noticed was on the whole time.
Yeah, so let's dive in. I am super excited. We are playing Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space, the official Cubicle 7 role-playing game. Cubicle 7? Is that right? Something to that effect. Yeah, that sounds right, but I don't...
It sounds about right.
The official game. The game. I'll have a link to it in the thing.
It's Cubicle 7 or something 7.
Yeah, it's something 7.
You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, and wherever else fine podcasts are sold. Except not sold because it's free. 5-star reviews are super helpful in getting the show.
Be sure to check his out. Would be most appreciative if you could take us to the city that I have written down and I have to look up because I completely forgot the name that I gave the city.
Getting new people to listen to the show and, find it.
Okay.
So they see that, the pirates around you, and they drop their weapon, put up your...
There's also just sirens on my end. Hold on 1 second.
They wear the ugliest combination of like green and yellow. Wait, no, that's an actual team color. Wait.
I shouldn't.
No, I appreciate the concern because I would have been upset had I lost all of this audio.
Yeah.
Had we gotten to the very end and then found out, like, oh well. Guess we just played this game for fun, like a couple of chumps.
Like a couple real dorks.
Like across, along your neck? Hold on, there's just been a power outage. I'm gonna pause the recording real quick.
I'm so sorry. Oh god.
Hey, you still there?
You lost internet problems.
Yep, I lost internet.
Yeah.
The whole thing is down.
It's back.
Alright. Alright, we're back from halftime. So we got the second half. Is the ball still on the 30-yard line, or do we move it back to midfield?
Oh, that's a good question. What do they do in real football for halftime?
I think they start off with a kickoff, so I think we'll put it at the 20.
Okay.
So we had the ball. I think we put it at your 20, and I think you have the ball at half.
Okay.
Because then if you take a knee in the end zone, it automatically bumps up to the 20-yard line. So I think just starting it at the 20-yard line is a good point.
Okay. So we got to make up some ground. We're going to try and see if we can get another surprise play on that field.
All right.
It does not work. That is a total of a 6, as you stop us before we even get started.
All right. Well, I think we're going to pick up exactly where we left off. And I think we're going to cut to a scandal. I think we're going to try to prove that Garmin Arnar's limoncello is actually some sort of space toxin.
Ooh.
So we're rolling plus photogenic, so I want to get that 9. I got a 5. I got a 6.
So you cause a scandal to yourself.
Oh, that's not good.
No. So you start handing out these pamphlets about Garmin Arnar's toxins, and everyone kind of looks at the pamphlets and see that the word Garmin Arnar is actually just written in on Sharpie above the team. What was it? The
Palookaville Pythons.
Yeah, the Palookaville Pythons. Do they use toxins? You scratched out the pythons and wrote like Garmin Arnar in real quick. Everyone kind of
I don't know why we trusted Fatty McGraw with that one.
And so I'm going to put the condition toxic onto Fatty McGraw.
All right. I don't know why we trusted him with that one, but all right. So the ball is yours.
I got to get my minion back on the field because I'm running out of players to put stuff on. So I'm going to try to do community outreach and see, yes, the minions do follow the most despicable, person in the universe, but they kind of have their own lives of their own.
They do. They do. Some of they have their own adventures. Spin-off adventures, you might say.
And I got an 8, which isn't enough to get them back on the field. But I do take 8 yards and I get a crowd favor.
All right. So you're on the 28-yard line.
What's your crowd favor at? Have you advanced yet?
No, I'm at 4.
Ooh.
4 crowd favor, I think.
I feel like you should probably be more because of the different... You get a crowd favor every time you get a turnover.
Then yeah, I think that I'm going to take... I'm just going to take an advancement and say I think I have 3, because I feel like we've gone back and forth a lot.
I was just about to suggest that same exact thing, because I've already taken advancement, and I'm at crowd favor 3 right now.
Yeah,
so I was like, why don't you just meet me where I'm at?
Yeah, okay. Well, then I'm going to take trash talk. Yeah, I'm going to take trash... Actually, I'm going to take... which one is it? I'm going to take trash talk. So whenever I create a scandal or rough a player, I can choose from the options on either list.
I like it.
Yeah, that's, I think, exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, okay. So, I believe you have the ball?
I do. We're going to try to do another thing about the minions.
All right.
But this one's a little different. We're going to follow this one specific minion, and this is Johnny Be Good Minion, who is an actual minion's son. He is Swole Minion's son, who is saying, Dad, maybe you wanted me to grow up and play football, but that's not my dream.
Oh, he's got such a good story. I'm going to feel really bad murdering him again. I'm not going to feel bad even a little bit. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Well, you're going to have a good chance to murder him because I rolled an 11 and my -1 gets that to a 10, which is enough to take a first down and revitalize that minion enough to get back out on the field. And, he's learned a lesson that, you can't live vicariously through their kids. You got to let them go to be who they are. And as he limps out on the field, you can see his popped vein is causing him some trouble still, but he's back.
All right. If you want to give this guy some more pain, that's on you. I can't be responsible for what happens to this minion. All right, what do you got?
We are going to make another scrimmage.
All right.
We're going to line up, and this minion... Oh, nope. He gets the ball, and the blood from his popped vein goes straight into his eyes, and he trips and falls down with a 5.
All right, so I've got the ball. I think we got to go for a surprise play. We really need to put some points. I feel like if we can just put a few points on the board, we can change the game.
This is a close game. I like it.
It is. I feel like there's some real mutual respect for being born on both sides.
Yeah.
Partially because we're realizing that all the players are terrible people, and I feel like the rivals are really starting to respect how awful the visitors are.
There's no cheering from the stands. It's just all boos.
Yeah. They're kind of loving it. So we're going to go for the scrimmage. We're rolling with Jock. Got an 8.
Ooh, there we go.
We're going to take that +1 forward. We're going to get the open field ahead of us. So we move at 8 yards. We're on the 43-yard line. Yeah, we're on the 43-yard line, so we're going to move it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on the 35-yard line. The 35-yard line, we're going to, I think we're going to go for a brilliant play and use that open field. Yeah, I think we're going to make a brilliant play, use that +1 forward to try and get ahead. Oh, we got 4, so it doesn't work. Ooh. I think what we thought was a brilliant play was actually just run the ball forward.
They're everywhere. All the minions swarm out. The defensive line of minions.
I hate your cheating, but I respect it so much.
And you know what? That defensive line is going to turn immediately to an offensive line. We're not even swapping players out. We're just going straight for it. And I get an 8. So these minions are just going to surge forward and open the field. I'm going to take that carry 1 forward and move 8 yards.
We're on the 39-yard line with 8 minutes on the clock.
8 minutes on the clock?
Third quarter.
I'm going to save my voice actor for my minion until the 4th quarter.
All right.
But for now, I think we're going to try to rough a player. We haven't done that too much. And so we are going to go straight for Fatty McGraw. And those minions are just going to pile on him, dogpile on him.
Fatty McGraw, no!
And I'm going to get a 10.
Fatty McGraw, no!
As he gets... No, I'm not going to say he gets benched. But I'm going to say that there's some serious open field right now. And you're going to take a stress, and he's going to get the condition terrified. So I've got 2 terrified players on your team right now.
Oh, I thought you... Oh, I guess, does the condition hang around?
Yep, condition hangs around until you take it off. You could take it off with, I believe,
gotcha.
Community Outreach, good sponsor, or fans.
Gotcha, okay.
So, Photogenic lets you shrug off those conditions.
So I think... Well, we got Photogenic, so I think... Alright, yeah, you're up. So since you got a 10, you are now on... Where are you at? You're at the 39-yard line. You're on the 49-yard line. You're just about midfield.
Ooh, there we go. We're just going to go straight for that scrimmage.
All right.
We're going to line up. Those minions are off the field. The refs cleared them out.
Poor refs.
But they're like, oh, what did I do to get stuck with this game? So Garmin Arminar is going to just do a quick... He's going to take the ball. What is it called when the quarterback just takes it and runs?
Blitz. He's going to blitz.
Yeah, he's going to do that, and he is going to get a 9 total. So it's not quite enough to get a surprise. They didn't, they've seen a blitz before.
Yeah. You're at the 48-yard line. You're on our side of the field.
And he's going to carry one forward to try to do a brilliant play as he does. Oh man, Brandon explained this to me. What is it? It's the lateral pass?
Yeah, lateral pass. Lateral.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going to go straight from that blitz scrimmage to a lateral pass off to Garmin Arnar. And he is going to see if that can work to get some more yards as Garmin Arnar's... No, he's the quarterback to Morn.
Yeah.
And see if he can't run. Oh, Morn drops the ball almost immediately, rolling a 4.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on the 40... He's on the 38-yard line. I got to get him off. All right, we got to go for a scrimmage because I got to get that surprise play. Got to get him off. I got to get him off. So we got 5. I got a 5, but I do advance. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got him back to the 43-yard line. I do advance. I don't take a move on my second advance, though.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Because you rolled a 5, is that a turnover then?
I turned it over, but I got the 5th crowd favor. So I think so do I advance? Is that...
Oh, yep. because you get 5, it resets to 0, and you get your advance.
Now, help me remember. Do I get a new move, or does it just?
No, rank 2 goes to a stat tier choice.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm going to bump up. In that case, I'm bumping up Jock to a +2.
Ooh, there we go.
It's late enough in the game that we got to start making some surprise plays because I want to get.
Speaking
some
of surprise plays, we're going to try to do that blitz again.
All right.
And see if you can get
4 minutes on the clock in the third quarter.
It's going to be a surprise play with 24 total yards as I roll a 12.
Okay, here we go. You are at the 19-yard line.
Ooh, we're so close.
You're so close.
We're going to try to make a brilliant play. That lateral pass, it didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time.
All right, what do you got?
So I got a 6. So I get 6 yards, but you have possession. And I'm going to get my second advancement.
You're at the 13-yard line. So I'm going to have to make, like I said, I got to go for that scrimmage.
I'm going to put my strats up to 2.
I got a
my second
7.
advancement.
I got a 9.
Ooh, there we go.
I don't think we got the surprise play, but 9 yards ain't bad. We are going to take that +1. We're at the 22-yard line. What do we got left in the quarter? 2 minutes and 48 seconds in the quarter. I think we got to try to rough up the player. That's exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to use that +1 forward. We're going to use the fact that the field is open and say we know exactly where one of the players is.
Oh, no.
Just take them out. I think you know which player we're going for. So that's a +3.
It's like that scene in The Lion King when Simba's in the middle of the gulch and he just sees the wildebeests. That minion's going to stand there going, uh-uh.
Yep, and he is gone because I got a 10. So
Trampled.
at 22, we're at the 32-yard line. Yep, so he has been trampled. He's carried off. His son is just looking at him, tears in his eyes.
Dad!
All right, we're going for that scrimmage. We got a 7. I think we're going to deal you a stress since we're playing dirty. Yeah. This is the big one. So I think we're going to make a.
That stress puts me at 6, which means that I have to take somebody off the field.
Oh man.
I'm going to say that Garmin Arnar is benched.
You know what? I feel like we were gonna try to maybe create a scandal, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe we should just try to take all your players out now. I think this has just turned into Bloodsport, so I think we have to try to rough up a player. I think we just have to keep just taking people down. 6, 7, 8. We got an 8. Deal yourself another stress as we move 8 more yards. We are now at the 47-yard line. We're almost midfield. Lance Arrow is on the sidelines being like, yeah, be the bad guys! Be the bad guys! As we go to make ourselves another scrimmage. That doesn't work, though. See that? They didn't listen to him, and they tried to play straight, and they got 4 yards.
Ooh.
So now at the 49-yard line, so we cleared midfield. We brought it back from 13 yards. That was a heck of a play.
So we're just trying to get points on the field at this point, too. It's a tough game. It's a tight game. It's totally tied at 0. We need Earth. We need it. So we are going to try to make that scrimmage. We're going to growl, and we're going to be as intimidating as possible and take advantage of that condition that we've got on you guys.
All right.
And we're going to get a total of 9.
All right.
With that, 1 point away from getting a surprise.
With that, the third quarter ends. Third quarter ends with the ball on the 46-yard line. So does the ball turn over, or do you keep the ball in the quarters? I think you keep the ball.
Yeah, I think we kept it. So
all right,
that's what we did on the first quarter.
All right, then it's your ball.
All right. I really want to get a voice actor for this minion, and I know that it's probably not the best choice.
I appreciate that commitment.
We're going to do some community outreach as we go to Garmin Arnar's homeworld, as he's volunteering at a soup kitchen. He's teaching young kids to read. He's using his position as host of Saturday Night Live to draw attention to charities that are in need. And
I think the visitors are the good guys. I think it turns out the visitors are the good guys. And
all they want to do is demolish Earth. I mean, is that such a bad thing?
Yeah, but they do so much good across the galaxy as opposed to, like, One-Eyed Jim Crowbar may have murdered a man. That sounds like a murderer.
I'm sure that he has at one point in time. So we got a 9 on our community outreach.
All right.
Oh, it's not enough. It's not enough, Jeff. But I get a crowd favor and I advance.
Yep. You're at the 33-yard line. This is the final 14 minutes of the game.
So we're going to go straight for that brilliant play. We're going to try, if we can't muscle through it, we got to use our weird alien strategies. And we're going to do some sort of like weird slither move. And you're standing there going, what the heck is happening? And
Yep.
we get a 12.
12. Oh.
Yep. And this weird swivel play is really manipulative. And I'm going to put the condition befuddled on to, let's see, we've got Crowbar conditioned, we got McGraw conditioned. I'm going to get Rock. Rock is so confused as to what's happening, and we just slip by him.
All right.
And that slipping by, we're going to try and trip him and rough a player.
Oh, you're not taking out Rock. I'm not going to let that happen.
We're not taking him out, but we did get an 8, so I'm going to cause you a stress.
All right. So I'm at 3 stress now. And you are very close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're at the 13-yard line.
The 13-yard line.
13-yard line, 12 and a half minutes on the clock, final quarter. Score is 0-0.
Right. My coach is going to flip a coin because he really wants to get that minion back into play, but we also really want to score. So evens or odds. Evens, he's going to do a scrimmage. Odds, he's going to do a community outreach. And it's evens, so let's go for that scrimmage.
All right.
Oh, it does not work with a 3.
All right, we're at the 10-yard line.
Your defense is holding strong.
The 10-yard line, we are definitely going to rough up that player. And this is when I reveal, surprising exactly no one. Rock rips off his helmet to reveal that it is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, having switched careers into becoming a football player. I guess going back to football, because he started out with football.
Did he?
Yeah, he's picked up his first love of professional football.
Oh.
So we're going to roll plus jock. We're at 2.
This is the Space Jam, but for football, because I imagine that Rock has brought this team together over a series of emotional scenes leading up to this point.
Except the humans are, I think, the bad guys. I'm sticking with that. Oh, he got a 13.
Ooh.
So, what am I thinking? Yep, I think I'm going to bench Morn.
No!
I think he grabs Morn, he rock bottoms him, he rips the helmet off, and the crowd's like, it's The Rock! Rocky! Rocky! And he goes and he delivers the people's elbow, and the crowd blows up. And he takes him out. We get 13 yards. That puts us at 23-yard line.
This means that I have only one avenue to get my minion back, and that's to do community outreach next turn with Michael Jordan.
Yep. So we're going to go for a scrimmage. We're making this run. The Rock has the ball. He's rolling. You got an 8. You got a 10. So we're going to take those 20 yards. That's the 43-yard line.
I was so close.
Oh. Got 10 minutes on the clock, final quarter. I think we're going to... Oh, I think that we've got it. I think we call a timeout. I think Lance Arrow is on his crutch. And he pulls the crowd in, and he's like, listen, we've had a journey here today. But I think we found the greatest success when we've embraced the fact that no one likes us, and we should just try to take out every player left on that team. So I think we're going to have to try to rough up the Elastic Armor Fiend, who is the last player on the field.
Oh, no.
I don't think we're going to end this with points. I think we're going to end this with pure violence.
And, it's a rule. If you run out of players through stress, you forfeit.
Oh, you're so lucky that I rolled Snake Eyes. And I got 4 yards.
Yes.
We all run at this Elastic Armor Fiend, and he just slams each of us, like just choke slamming, and they're just all going down. You get the ball at the 53-yard line. Your side of the field. Nope.
40, and I'm actually
48 or 47-yard line, our side of the field.
I'm actually realizing that I can't get my minion back because I've already explored Michael Jordan's sordid past with the visitors, and he signed that kid's baseball card.
He did sign that kid's baseball card.
My minion is swole and trampled, and he will not be returning to football. But his tears inspire the rest of the team to try to make a scrimmage for Johnny Minion.
Johnny Minion. Well, now I have to ask, who was the voice actor gonna be?
It was gonna be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, that would have been a hell of a twist.
Oh, he would have had divided loyalties. He's his own worst rival.
That would have been a twist.
So I got an 11 on my scrimmage, so we're going to take that surprise play and run down that field.
So how many yards is that?
That was 22 yards.
22 yards. You're at the 50... You're at the 47-yard line. So 47, 37, 27, 25. You're at the 25-yard line.
And I think I can take advantage of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's confused condition by making a brilliant play that goes totally over his head. And I got an 11.
All right.
So
5, 15, 14 yards. He is confused.
My brilliant play is going to be this show of force, which lets me get an immediate scrimmage move.
All right.
If I roll a 6, it is not a turnover because it's part of this brilliant play.
Okay.
But I got a 7 total.
Okay. Now, I have to ask, because we have roughing the passer, does that 7 turn things over?
It would normally, but
because it's a bonus move,
this is technically part of the it's technically part of the brilliant play.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So your next move, you're at the. Okay. So you got 7 yards. You were at the 14. So you were at the 7-yard line.
And I'm in a rough position because I can't make a brilliant play or a scrimmage right now.
Nope.
All right. I am going to... You know what? We're just going to try to just slam through it with our fists outstretched. We're going to try and rough a player.
All right.
We are going to try and rough Jim Crowbar. But we are not going to make it.
What'd you get?
We get a 6, and we turn over position at the 1-yard line.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're going to end this. We're going to end this on our term. We have 5 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. We are going to try to take out this elastic armor fiend and save the Earth through sheer violence. We're going to do what humanity does best. And just be violent, crude animals. So we're rolling a +2. And we get an 11.
Oh!
Every single lance arrow, they take out this elastic armor fiend at the knees. It goes down, and Lance arrow hops on one leg out with his crutch and just catches him a baseball bat swing in the back of the head. The crowd starts chanting, "Rudy! Rudy!" Rudy does a running dive from the stands and just lands on him with a splash, and he's out. And the Palookaville Pythons are standing beaten and battered in the field. And they look around, and the aliens are just unconscious. And they're like, "I guess we win."
That's one way to win at football.
The crowd is just booing, and trash is getting thrown in the ring. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's a bad night. So I guess that's game. That's game.
Oh,
that was really fun.
I'm so glad that this was as fun as it was. This is the first time that anyone's played Goalposts and Gridirons.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was really, really fun. Okay, so real quick before we wrap up, let's so tell me the shows you can find on Riverhouse Games. We never actually fully covered all that, and then we'll do social media, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah. So we've got 2 podcast feeds. The first is the Leviathan Files. That's the weekly D20 Mass Effect actual play podcast. The second feed is the Riverhouse Games podcast, which has From Scratch, which is about the new games. There's also Games Closet, which explores LGBT gamers. It's not like about per se queer issues and stuff in gaming, but it's a way to say, hey, here are some cool people.
Right.
Let's talk to them.
Which is great. I really like that.
And then we also... Yeah, it's been super fun. We've talked to Caitlin Bell, who wrote Singularity, which is like one of the games that I've been super pumped about coming out.
Oh, I'm really excited for Singularity to come out, yeah.
Oh, man, it's such a fun game. It's so fun. But then the second show on that feed is called Critical Theory, and that's more of like your traditional GM advice, critical analysis of tabletop games, like how do games work and what does that mean for the art form. Because I think the tabletop games are art.
Yeah, absolutely.
So... Those are the 3 we rotate. So we'll do From Scratch, Game Closet, Critical Theory, From Scratch, Game Closet, Critical Theory.
Awesome.
Alternating weeks. So yeah, so those are the shows that we do. You can find them all at riverhousegames.com or through iTunes.
Yep.
It's been a year. I still haven't figured out how Stitcher works. It might happen.
Who knows? Stitcher's a confusing thing.
Yeah.
Taylor, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff. I'm
This was
so
great.
pumped that I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, that was good. It was a lot of fun. Well, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, pass me.
Pass me. Damn it, that is my line, Taylor. You know that is my line. You son of a... Get it together, Stormer. Get it together. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thanks to Taylor for coming onto the show. That was a blast. Be sure to head over to riverhousegames.com to download Goalposts and Gridirons for yourself. And be sure to follow Taylor on Twitter at Leviathan Files, and check out the Riverhouse Games podcast on iTunes. Then, while you're on Twitter following Taylor, follow Party of One at Party of One Pod, then like us on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Enjoying the show? Consider telling a friend. A nice iTunes review, a word-of-mouth recommendation, or a social media plug helps the show reach new listeners, which opens us up to do cooler, bigger, and better things. Party of One is produced by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank, this episode edited by Jeff Stormer. Theme song for the show is Infinite Lives by Megaran featuring the D&D Sluggers. Music for the Halftime Follies comes from www.bensound.com. Until next time, party people, thanks for listening, and remember, they may not be the Dallas Cowboys, but owning the Denver Broncos is pretty good.
Never gonna die.